Hey, what's going on, guys? We're here. We finally got some nice warm weather after a week of crappy stuff, and I wasn't able to do anything outside on this thing. So in the last week we spent working inside on door panels. So they're coming along pretty nicely, and today is our first day of weather above 50 degrees that we've had in quite some time. So we went to the store earlier. We got some lumber, as you can see right there. We got some plywood inside there, the building there, and we're going to start getting rocking. So I believe this will be part 3 of this build, so let's get started. So I think I've said it before, I was going to start with the roof, but I've kind of been out here punching some numbers and measuring and rethinking and measuring and rethinking and writing some stuff down, and I think I'm going to start with my floor first, and that way I can get my maximum width. That way I know how wide I am going to be able to go at the top, but I need to get my maximum width set on both sides here before I can really decide on some things, a couple things on top of the roof there. So with that in mind, what I've done here is I've got my old floor out of there. What I'm going to do, as you can see here, instead of measuring some things again, making templates and cutting out for my fender wells and stuff, because I'm going to incorporate the fender wells again into this. I got my old floor here, and now it's not going to be the size of this floor, because as you can see, I got this step down here, and I'm going to incorporate as much of that into this build as I can this time to pick up some cubic feet for the box here. So that floor used to go all the way out to almost the center console, but this one here, we're going to go to this first lip, and then we're going to start making our downgrade. So instead of, like I said, making templates and measuring and cutting, what I got here is my old floor. Now I already know from this point here to where that first step down is 21 inches. So what I've already done here is I've set my marks. I'm going to set my marks here. I'll cut a 21-inch strip. I'll trim this out to go on my fender wells, and then we're set there, and we can start with the floor. So the sawdust is going to fly here in just a couple minutes. Alright guys, here we go. This is going to be the first official cut of wood on the new rebuild. Now, I put a new blade in here. I don't think I really needed a new blade, but I always recommend anytime you start a new project, you should just change your blade. Get it plugged in. Let's cut. Make that mistake, guys. Not a big deal, because that piece ain't going to be used. There we go. No big deal. That's coming off anyways. Alright guys, I got her cut down and trimmed out, and she fits in here like butter, just like she's supposed to be. So now we'll go around here. I cut it just a little long because I'm going to be trimming it still. Get it squared up a little bit here. Alright, I cut it just a hair long because I've still got to trim for the angle for my two boards to meet together. That's coming at an angle here. So now I got to do a whole, I can't talk. I got to do it the old school way. I don't have all the fancy tools that everybody has, but I'm going to have to figure out this angle from here to here. And then I think I'm going to bring my floor out to here. And that should gain me, I don't know, hopefully 4 extra cubes just by doing this little bit right here. So what I gotta have to do is going to have to come out here, find my distance to here, and the drop, and then do some dividing, and I should be able to get my angle. Set my saw, make that cut, flip it on the other piece of board with the exact same angle, cut it, and that should bring me down to here, and then I can meet these two up down here. Well guys, I'm gonna have to end today, just as I was starting to make some decent progress on a nice day. But I was trimming some of this carpet away here so I could get a true surface right here, and it jumped on me and I laid my finger open about 2 inches long, and now I got to go to the hospital or the clinic or something and get some stitches, because it normally I wouldn't, I'd just super glued or whatever, but with it being 2 inches long and being on my index finger, that's where I'm at today. So sorry guys, but part 1 is going to be extended to another day. Well, alright guys, we're back for the next day here. I went to the hospital last night. I had to get 5 stitches in my finger, but that ain't going to stop me from working on this. So like I left off there, I was trimming that and thing cut through it real fast and got my hand. But it's not a big deal, but just a little time consuming setback. So we'll plug away here. Like I said before, I was working on I was cutting this carpet out. Hold on a second. I was cutting this carpet out so I can get this, so we'll start working on that. Okay, I got that all trimmed now without lopping my finger off or the rest of the way off. So like I said, I'm working on this panel, or the bottom of the floor here. Now the last time I did this, I took cardboard and laid it down here and traced out where everything is, and obviously I don't have that cardboard no more, and to help kind of speed up the process, I'm going to use the bottom of the old floor again. This end here was the front of the box, so these dimensions shouldn't change any, even though I'm going lower. The only thing I'm going to have to figure out is my depth here. So I'm going to trim these down, and I'm going to get my guide from this, and then once I get it set, the depth here going back to the fender well, and then where I start going up to the cargo area, or the piece of wood I already got cut for it, and then I'll just trace it basically and transfer it to this next piece of wood here, and that should save me some time. And like I said, that's already there. So kind of a bit of advice after you tear stuff out and you're doing a rebuild, kind of keep a hold of some of this stuff, because it may come in handy for doing some stuff like this, getting some of your cuts and your angles and stuff again. So after I got that old floor trimmed down, I laid it out on my plywood here. I don't know how well you can see this with it blending together with the other piece there, but I got the lowest portion of the floor area cut down here. Like I said, by taking the old floor and kind of using it as a guide and figuring out my length and adjusting it down and cutting it, I saved a whole bunch of time, minus a couple phone calls, like Ben Irby always calling me in the middle of when I'm in the middle of something. But that's all right, that's what teammates are for. But all right, this should drop right in there. I might have to make a couple trims, but let's take it over and see if it sits in there like it's supposed to. And it was a perfect cut the first time. It dropped right in where I wanted it to. So now we'll have to make sure I get it level at the front, the rear, and side to side here. Side, side, and front to rear. We'll make sure we'll get it level. And we'll make some bracing to go up underneath here, and we'll make that good and sturdy. And then, like I said, from the lower portion to the top portion, we'll now figure out that angle, and we'll get that piece cut. But we got to get this bottom one now absolutely straight and true before we can do that top piece, or that transition, step down, angle, whatever you want to call it. We got to get that bottom piece perfect, or if we don't, our cut's going to be messed up, and it's not going to be square and true like I want it. But yeah, so far so good. Like I said, that dropped in there perfectly. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I took a piece of scrap wood and figure out my angle for this step down, at least on this first one, and I believe I got it set correctly. I don't know how well you can see it. That should be about 30 degrees angle cut on that. So now I got to figure out what my angle is going to be down here. So this is one easy way to do test run with it, figure out what my angle is. That way when I do my initial cut with the material I'm going to use, I get it right the first time and I don't screw it up and waste material. So that's where we're out here with figuring those angles. Well guys, we're back here. It's been a couple days since I've had a chance to work on the truck. I had to work overtime a couple nights ago, and then it freaking snowed yesterday, or not yesterday, the day before yesterday. So it's been a couple days, like I said, since I've been able to work on it. So we're almost back at 50 degrees here today. I left off there just a couple days ago, you guys remember, here on the floor, and I was going to start working on the floor again here this evening. And then while I was at work today, I had a couple ideas come to my head about doing this roof section and how I was going to get it to fit or get it to work and everything. And then a light bulb came on in my head, and I came home and I started working on the roof. And here's where I'm at with it now. The idea came to my head. I knew it was going to be a tough fit. As you can see, these are angled here. I'll take you around here and kind of show you where I'm talking about. Okay, this here and this here, I've checked them a few different times, and these are the same angle. I guess this support section that runs along here. Now, I knew I wanted to get my ceiling, you know, obviously not here, but I wanted to bring it down a couple inches and run it up to, you know, in this area here. So, you know, I measured, and 3-4 times and thought about it and cut. Finally laid it out on my plywood over there, and I got my initial cut. And I'll show you what I did to find my angle, or not my angle, but find the curvature of my windshield area. I took my headliner, my old headliner, and I laid it out, and I got the curvature that I wanted for this to mate up to the windshield area here. And like I said, after I got that and I figured out my angles for this, I got angle cuts on this and angle cuts on the front, and I've already test fitted it, and it fit up in there perfectly. I mean, I couldn't believe I got it in one shot. I didn't have to take it out, you know, 2, 3, 4 times and trim here, trim there. I mean, it went up in there perfect. So now I got to figure out how to get it up there and hold it up there myself, and get it glued and screwed, or if I'm going to have somebody come down and help me. Maybe I can get my neighbor across the road to do it, but he's a police officer at Ohio University, and so he's at work right now. So that fits. So I'm very ecstatic about that. So like I said, I don't know how I'm going to attach that just yet with being by myself. So I think now that I got that, that makes me happy. That took a lot of pressure off of me. Been thinking quite a bit, you know, why I work and why I drive, because I do a lot of driving at work. Being a deputy, I drive from 30-40 miles one way to a call, so you tend to do a lot of thinking. So now that I got that, I think I'll jump back to the floor here, figure out that other angle on that bottom section and get that cut, and see if I can't get them mated up and screwed together, and go from there. Back here with the roof section, something else I thought about that I wanted to explain here. So now that I know that this fits, what I'm going to do is there's still going to be a bit of a gap between the actual roof sheet metal and this. So what I'm going to do is, let's see here, I think it's right about here, is one cross brace in the roof, and then here at the end. So what I'm going to do is attach it. I'm going to try and hit those with screws there where I got an extra metal, being very careful not to go through my wood or go through the roof. But also what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-drill holes in the plywood here. I'm pre-drill a few holes, so once I get this up in there, I'm going to try to PL. I think I got the 8X, maybe the 3X, I don't remember what I got. And I'm going to glue all the contact points that I can glue, and then screw it up. And then I already have those holes drilled, so once I get it screwed up there, I could stick my straw for my expanding foam through and shoot some foam in there, because I think from the very center of the curvature of the roof, there's going to be about an inch and a half gap, so we'll fill that up with foam. But I just wanted to explain that to you guys real quick. So back on the floor here, I finally got this drop down, step down, slope down, whatever the hell you want to call it. I'll get it all figured out here, and nothing's glued or screwed together here, guys. I just set this in there to see how it was going to fit, and I had to do a little bit of sanding on one edge there. It wasn't mating just right, but I'm happy with it. Like I said earlier, I believe it was this video here that should gave me a few cubes that I'm going to need for this fourth order. So I'm not rushing. I've been out here for a few hours now, working on this roof section earlier. That took a little bit of time, But I don't want to rush this. I'm measuring 4 times and cutting once, so that I make sure I get the everything correct. But yeah, so once I get this it's glued and screwed here, we'll fiberglass the hell out of it, sand her all down and make it look pretty. And like I said, we're going to incorporate these wheel wells into it. But yeah, that's where it's at. I'm kind of happy with it. See what it looks like from behind here. Yeah, like I said, you can tell there, it's not sitting in there flush. Like, it's just sitting there, guys. So, but yeah. I'm happy with it. You guys tell me what you think. Drop a comment. Give your opinions on doing these drop downs. Some of these SUVs here, where the cargo area is taller or higher than the rest of it. Give me your guys' opinions on it. If you've done it before, if you haven't done it before, maybe this will help. This is the first time I've really done one. So yeah, I'll take it. Alright guys, I'm starting to lose daylight, and since the sun's went down, it's dropped temperature wise quite a bit, and getting kind of cooled out here now. I don't want to be using the power tools with my hands and fingers being cooled, losing the dexterity. My luck, you know, you guys seen I laid my finger open the other day. My luck, I cut a finger off. So we're going to edit this video on this note here. Tomorrow it's supposed to chance of snow again, so it'll probably be another day or two that I get to work on this, but I got quite a bit done, even though it really doesn't look like it. But with that roof section that I showed you guys earlier being cut and perfect and laying up in there, and getting this to where this is at now, the floor here, it's coming along fairly well. I'm pleased and I'm happy with it. So once I get this screwed in and secured and everything, and I get somebody to help me get those roof pieces up there, I think it'll all come together pretty quick. It won't take long to knock those sides out, and hopefully we can start working on other things. But that's where we're at right now. So we're going to end this video, and we'll pick this up on the next nice day. Hopefully to be Sunday. It's Friday evening now, so hopefully it'll be Sunday. We're supposed to be in the 50s, so maybe I can get some stuff done if we ain't got a bunch of snow on the ground or something like that. So like I said, I'm happy with it, and be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Be sure to check back, guys. I appreciate it.